Hey yo guys, what's good, what's happening, and what's going on? Motherfreaking Monday, which means off to the office. But this week's a special week because it's a 4-day. Why? Because Easter's coming up this weekend. You get one of these a year. Easter weekend extravaganza. See, when I first started working for this company back in 2022? Yeah, that seems right. Back in 2022, I hated Easter. You'd be asking yourself, Adam, why did you hate Easter? You got 4 days off. Well, back then, because I was on a contract with the company, it was a weird situation where you got paid a bunch of stuff in lieu. You didn't get benefits. You didn't get stat holidays. None of that was paid. Well, it was already paid. That's the thing. Is they gave you it ended up being 15% on top of your wage. And that covered your stat holidays, covered your sick days, covered your pretty much anything that was classified as a paid day off, which apparently is not an illegal thing to do. So both Easter and Christmas were a pain in the ass. So were other stat holidays. But once I made it past my probation period and got signed on, I lost that 15%, which was a noticeable drop in the paycheck. But now I get paid stats, and I get paid my sick days, and I get paid I pay into a pension. I couldn't pay into it before. Now I can, and I do, because guys, you got to invest in your own future. You can't expect CPP to do it for you. Especially with all the nonsense going on right now, you got to do it yourself. And I actually had a talk with my banker on Friday about this. See, I'm not really into finances and investing and stuff. I got a guy handling that for me because I don't have the time or energy to actually research investing and all that on my own. I'd really probably should, because getting into stock trading and stuff could be pretty lucrative. But what my banker told me was I need to get a tax-free savings account. Basically what that is it's an account that you invest into and you never pay taxes on. So right now, my retirement savings plan, my pension, all that fun shit, I have to pay taxes on that. I'll just wear the red jacket today. It's only going down to 4 degrees centigrade. But yeah, I got to pay taxes on the RSP. So I don't pay taxes when I invest into it. So you buy $1,000 worth of RSPs, and what ends up happening is you end up paying, instead of $1,000 in, sorry, you buy $1,000 in, that $1,000 gets taken off your income for the year. So when your taxable income comes in, if you make $50,000 a year, we'll say, and you invest $1,000 into RSPs, you've actually made $49,000 that year. So why is that good? Well, because the government's going to tax you on $50,000. But then when it comes time to do your taxes, they realize they overtaxed you and you get a bit of a refund. Now what Dad's been doing for the longest time before he retired is he would contribute his max amount to RSPs, and then when he got his income taxes done and they took a set amount off, they were oh, okay, well, you invested $5,000 this year. You're going to get back, let's say he got back $3,000 for his income tax. They would turn around he would turn around, take that invested money, his income tax return, and put that back in RSPs, constantly growing his value in his RSP pool so that in the long run, he had more money to retire with. I don't even know if my mic's picking you guys up right now because I have it inside of my shirt and not on my coat. I gotta fix that. Also, before we head off, I'm going to show you here. This is pretty much the last of the snow that I have is what's up against the boat tent. That's it. And a little bit on the back wall here. This backyard is completely cleared out. This is great. There's a lot of this moose poop everywhere, which I think is vole holes. I don't know what the heck it is. It looks like vole holes. I don't think it's moose poop. I'm pretty sure it's moles pushing through the ground. But the rabbits sure did a number on my cedars again. Sons of bitches. Next weekend, if it's nice, I may come back and tackle that bramble before it decides to start blooming. Get that all cleared out. Because if it's short enough, I might be able to actually deal with it. Hopefully I didn't just delete my last clip. I meant to double click the stick to flip the friggin' camera around. Instead I double clicked the record button. Anyway, let's get off to work. I had an interesting piece of mail come in yesterday. Well, I had two. Not yesterday. They came in on Friday. I just checked my mail yesterday because I have a bad tendency of not checking my mail. First off, got my voter's card. Jesus. Why Why isn't that sting? Why aren't you staying turned off? Friggin' stupid radio, man. I hit the power button, it turns off, turns back on, turns off, turns back on. Like, I get it. You want to play music, frig off. And the other piece of mail really sucks. Did I forget my wallet? Shit. Be right back, guys. Let's do a camera test. I'm going to go in the house and get my wallet, and we'll see how well the microphone holds out. I'm telling you guys, forget my head if it wasn't screwed on. Luckily, I'm not late for work. I'm actually going to get there early if I leave now. Actually, while I'm getting my wallet, I might as well grab that other piece of mail, because maybe during downtime, I can do it at work and get it over with, because it's pretty fricked. All right, we got the piece of mail, and we're good to go. You don't believe me that I'm inside? Hi, scampers. There you go. That's proof. You guys heard the cat. She was on her little platform at the top of the stairs. All right, let's get this freaking door locked. Get back in the truck. Head off to work. And get on with this 4-day work week. Hey guys, I'm back. Basically, the piece of mail that I got in the mail, because where else would you get mail unless you got it from the mail, was a summons. Yeah, a summons. Not a court summons for anything I've done wrong. Court summons for something somebody else done wrong. Your boy got selected for freaking jury duty, but apparently I'm not registered, and I have 30 days from receiving this letter to get registered. 46 years I managed to dodge jury duty, and now I gotta go do jury duty. So dumb. So dumb. I'm not sure how that works with work. I guess they don't care if you have a job. You have to do your due diligence as a citizen of Ontario, and you gotta help prosecute because the judge can't do it on their own, or whatever the friggin' reason for jury duty is. I don't know. I just could care less. You shouldn't need my help to decide if someone's guilty. If they frigged around, they gotta find out, right? Isn't that how it should work? If you frigged around, you got busted, why the hell do you need a panel of 10 random people to decide if you're guilty or innocent? Pretty cocked if you ask me, but nobody's asking me, so I got some paperwork that I can fill out online. Ministry of the Solicitor General, to let them know who I am, what I do, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what information they want from me. If they're asking for my social insurance number, well, they better be offering me a paycheck, because there's no reason to have that information. They don't need that. They probably already have it. This is the government of Ontario, after all. You know, if they don't have it, they can just contact their buddies at the CRA and pick that up. But anyway, I digress. Friggin' jury duty. I've never had to do this before. I don't even know what the frick it is. Like, I know what the frick it is. I shouldn't say that. I just don't see the point. Like, North Bay, do we really have cases where we have to have a full panel jury to decide on the outcome of the court? Well, that's why we have judges. Why do we need to make our court system like our government, where we have like a parliament? It doesn't make sense. You take your case to the court, your lawyer talks to the judge, the opposing member's lawyer talks to the judge. They both plead their case, put their shit on the table, and then the judge decides from the evidence put forward and the laws in Canada if said person is guilty, and then brands them guilty or not guilty. End of frickin' story, right? Apparently that's not how she rolls up here. I guess in the US you guys have jury duty too, so any of you guys ever been summoned to jury duty? Is it complete hogwash? Is the food good? Do they serve carnivore? That's why, guys, I'm thinking about switching from carnivore to paleo. Basically eat like the Vikings. Friggin' non-processed, all whole foods. That allows me to have vegetables again. That allows me to have, well, vegetables that I can actually digest. I won't go out of my way to eat a carrot and be in discomfort for the rest of my day. But it allows me to, like, eat foods that I can physically digest. I'll be okay. But it keeps you out of the middle aisles at the grocery store, basically. You can only eat pretty much what's on the one side at most grocery stores, which is the meat and produce. Anything processed you can't touch. But yeah, back on topic. Have any of you guys ever done jury duty? Is it bullshit? I doubt they pay you for your time. Definitely not what I'm earning in a day working my current job. I'm gonna have to talk to the union leader there and see about if there's some sort of a jury duty thing. If not, I might have to book vacations while I go and prosecute a guy. Like, that's freaking bullshit. What do you need vacations for? Oh, well, you know, I gotta go sit in court and find out why this guy's guilty and then give him a service. Like, frig off. Maybe they'll see the mohawk and be like, yeah, no, this guy looks like he's part of a gang. He can't be sitting on jury. We can't have a guy like this sitting on jury. Maybe this mohawk will finally come up more clutch than I thought. You know, it's keeping the women away. It's perfect. Maybe it'll keep the courts away. Maybe. Like, that was my whole plan for this, man. It's like single for life, and then you get these women walking up and they're like, hey, how's you going? We should hang out and stuff. And ever since I put the mohawk on, man, holy, women are avoiding me like the plague. It's perfect. Probably wondering, hey, Adam, why are you avoiding women? Well, because the rules have changed. The rules have gotten weird. Everybody's out for themselves and they don't care who they screw over, and women don't care if they screw over men. You know, one of your friends mentions, oh yeah, Adam has his own house and he makes good money and stuff, and these women, their eyes light up like a Christmas tree. Oh, this guy could probably pay my way. And then they start flirting with you and it's like, oh, frig off. So you put on this mohawk, do it yourself so it doesn't look as good as it would if it was done professionally, and you look badass when you're fighting in a stick fight, and women are like, no thanks, not interested. 46-year-old with a mohawk, who does this guy think he is? Eh? Exactly. A lot of you guys are like, oh, the mohawk makes you look goofy. Yeah, there's a reason for it. That was the intention, boys. Oh my God. You think I have a method to my madness? Anyway, I'm almost at work, so I'm going to chime out here, and I'll chime back in after work. All right, guys, peace the frig out. Hey, guys, I'm home. And I'm not using the microphone right now because I can't get it to work. I don't know what its problem is. It's recording. I can get it to record, but I can't get it to sync. Right now it's doing this flashing green light, and it won't seem to find camera. So I couldn't film a driving home scene because I've tried to film from the internal mic, and literally all you hear is road noise, truck noise, nasty vibrations. It's not a good time. It's not a good time. Like right now the audio probably sounds pretty scuffed. But we're home. It's 14 degrees out. That's pretty friggin' dope. It was supposed to snow today, but it didn't. It's supposed to snow tomorrow. We'll see if it does. I don't know. It's supposed to snow tomorrow, but it's also supposed to be like 8 degrees Celsius. So I don't really see that happening all that well, but I'd really love to know what the hell's wrong with this mic, because it was working this morning. So I'm gonna go throw a charge on it. Maybe it's just dying. I haven't charged it in a while. I think I filmed like 5 vlogs with it, never charged it once. Probably just low battery, so I'm gonna go give it a quick charge there. We'll see what happens, because filming from the internal camera mic is not the greatest. I find the actual external mic does a way better job of making audio sound good. But I did some research today on AMD video cards and Vegas 22, and apparently for productivity AMD cards dominate. So I'm thinking I might go ahead and try out the 9070 in this rig with the 3700X. There'll be a 10% bottleneck, but I don't think I'll see it, because theoretically the 3070 there's an 18% bottleneck, and I don't know why the 3070 is getting more of a bottleneck than the 9070 when the 9070 beats the 3070 by like 50%. So that doesn't make sense. There, I fixed it. Holy crap. These mics are nuts. For only having 3 buttons, there's a lot of bullshit you can get yourself into without knowing it, and I don't know how the hell I did it or when it happened, but basically these DJI wireless transmitter mic 2s have 2 modes. I didn't know. One is wireless mode, where you use it with the big transmitter box, and you can have the 4 microphones attached to it, have the thing hooked up to like, I don't know, DSLR camera or something. Then you can have 4 of these little freaking fluffy mics on 4 different people walking around and doing whatever they're doing. And then option number 2 is Bluetooth mode, which is what this camera uses for connecting the microphone. Well, somehow I changed it from wireless, or from Bluetooth to wireless, which caused all my problems. How did I do that? Well, apparently at some point while turning it off today, I pressed and held the record button, because these things have 16 gigs of memory in them, and there is a record button right over yonder. And if you press that, it just starts recording the audio right to the microphone as a backup, so that if you lose your video footage, or if the audio gets scuffed for whatever reason, you have the microphone audio to rely on as a secondary wavelength to play with, which I guess is pretty cool, but I've never needed it yet, so that's a thing. I'm sure there's a practical use for it somewhere out there, but I just can't think of one. So that's me. I'm sure somebody better at this whole vlogging thing probably thinks that's like the best feature in the world. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm using a scuffed pepper grinder to put pepper on steak. But this pepper grinder is like, bought it from Walmart, but should have came from Temu, because it is about as useful as taste buds on an arsehole. Like, it actually gets bound up on peppercorn corn. Talk about a shitty freaking product. Now for some rock salt. Guys, that's all I do with my steaks. Salt, pepper, garlic. What more do you need? I guess butter. Butter would be good on steak. Except for, I got some pitter patter powder. You guys remember when I made this? The pitter patter powder? Gonna throw some triple P on my steak. I should whip up some more of this. All right, let's get these things. You probably hear that washing machine about to hit warp. Get these little steak slabs in the old friggin' son of a bitch. Turn the time down to 13 minutes. They're not from frozen, so I don't need to go the full 15. And they should be good to go. But yeah, that was fun trying to figure out these microphones now, because I was like, well, was the other microphone doing the same? So remember, I have two of them, right? I bought one in case I wanted to do like a Bloke and Skivens hour or something next time I go down, and have a mic on each one of us so I can increase the editing of my videos. But no, I bought two of them, and the other one was working fine. I friggin' turned it on and was able to pair it, and I'm like, wait a second, this one was blinking blue. Why the frick is this one blinking yellow or green? And then I looked it up online, and it's like, if it's slow blinking green, it's connecting to wireless. If it's slow blinking blue, you can't learn to speak English. No, if it's slow blinking blue, then it's Bluetooth. I needed Bluetooth. So I had to type into Google, how do you change the transmitter, because the manual was useless. How do you change the transmitter over from wireless to Bluetooth? Turns out all you gotta do is press and hold the power button or the record button for 2 seconds. It'll vibrate, the light will turn blue from green, and voila, you're ready to sync. Holy shazbot. I wish you could lock that feature out. However, guys, I am considering, I don't know if I want to do it tonight, I might do it later on in the week, of moving the 3070 into the Acer Loser Nitro Suckface. My only problem is like here's the issue. There's not much room in there for cooling. There's like a fan in the back, but it barely moves any air, and I'm pretty sure it's blowing in. There's no fan in the front, and there's no room for a fan in the front. And the heat literally gets trapped in the CPU's heatsink. Like, it literally, when it crashed, I put my hand right here, and I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of hot air trapped right here. Like, it was freaking warm. Then when I laid the computer on its side, all the hot air escaped. Like, it was literally holding it in. Despite the fact that I got the side panel off, there was no reason for the air to be trapped in there. It still was trapped and baking the CPU heatsink. And it was the CPU under throttling because it was overheating. So it was thermal throttling to the point where it just gradually said, screw you, I'm dying. And it divided by 0 and committed seppuku. So this whole time the card was fine. This case here has way better ventilation, way better cooling. So I'm not too worried about the heat getting out of the case as I am with the Acer Loser Nitro Suckface. However, I do believe the wattage on that 3070 is higher than the wattage on the 9070. All these numbers, eh? Holy frig, you'd swear I'm a mathematician. I'm not, I'm just a nerd who likes computer shit. Wattage 3070. 3070 is 220 watts. Wattage RX 9070. And the 9070 is 220. They're both 220. And they both require a minimum of 650 watts. So that one has an 850. This one has a 750. We're good there. Like, I was thinking, I started pricing out parts for a new computer. But to be fair, I don't really want to buy one yet because the next gen AMD chips are coming out by like the end of this year. I can make do with what I have until then, because the 10th gen, they're talking about doubling core counts across all of the series. And I think it would be sweet to get one of those. And then I would just, yeah, I don't know what I would use it for, if I'd use it for editing or if I'd use it for gaming. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what I'd use it for. That's the reason why I've also been holding off. Like the Acer Loser Nitro Suckface with the 4060, I get above 60 frames a second. Turns out I only recorded at 30 on my last session, so whoops. But I get about 60 frames a second, 60 to 70, sometimes 90, like it varies. 4060's holding out, but I would like to get more frames because, man, when I was hitting like 100 to 120 frames per second, even though the eye can't see it, I'm telling you guys, the eye can see it. You can at least feel it. The fluid motion is amazing. But yeah, on the Vegas content creator forum, I was looking at benchmarks. This guy made like a 10-minute video of some pretty complex edits and all that. Then he passed him. I don't know where he got all these video cards from, but he got all these video cards. Maybe he had people do it for him because there was all different specs, like an i3 with an ARC 370, an AMD 1700 with a 2080. There was it was all from before though. Like the best card I saw in there was a 6900 XT, and the 6900 beat a 3080 by a lot on rendering, which makes me believe if I can get the AMD to work in this computer for video editing, it's gonna be good. It's gonna love it. And they're using Magix 18, which is 3 generations after they included NVIDIA encoding. So the fact that back in the day, before 15, when I started with Vegas 10, it was AMD only. If you had an NVIDIA, it was kind of slow to render, but if you included an AMD in there, it was a rocket ship. Like if you had an old CUDA-based NVIDIA card before they started doing NVENC, like the 960 was CUDA based, it was fine. But when the 1070 came out, and I bought that for the CyberPower, going from the 960 to the 1070, my editing, my rendering slowed right down because it had no idea how to use NVENC. And that's when I ended up swapping over to a copy of Adobe Premiere that I had from college days, which supported NVENC and saw the 1070, so I could actually render at a decent speed using GPU acceleration. It wasn't until the rumor came out that Sony sold Vegas to Magix and they included NVENC, I was like, well, let me try it. So I went and pirated a copy, gave it a try, and went, holy shit, this works great. So I uninstalled the pirated copy, scanned my rig for any viruses, and cleared out any bloatware that was pushed over. Went to Magix website, bought a license because they had a sale, and installed a legit copy. And then I went from 15, ran 15 until 20 came out, because then they introduced AI. There was no real augmentations from 15 to 19. And then I went with 20 because I wanted to try the AI stuff, which wasn't really that great. And then 22, I'm on 23 now, right? I don't even know what version I have. Yeah, I'm on 22 right now. And then when 21 came out, there wasn't many add-ons, so I was like, screw that noise. Then when 22 came out, they had a deal that pre-buy 22 will give you 21 for the time being. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. And then 21 came out with stuff like Z depth, which I haven't figured out yet. You can do some really cool edits with Z depth. And then that's when they introduced the speech or text to speech and speech to text and all the other cool features like color swapping and all that fun stuff. Just a whole shitload of AI filters and AI tools. Like they give you AI auto reframe, which will reframe a video based on what it sees as what AI thinks is the important part. You got like AI colorization, where you can take a black and white video, bring it in, and AI will look at the video and go, oh, okay, and then just start adding color to it. And if it gets it wrong, you can train it to get it right. There's a dehaze option, so like if you're taking a video and it's all hazed out because of fog or light blooms or whatever, the dehazer will actually take all that shit out and fix the picture. That's pretty sweet. AI sharpen, which is basically a sharpen filter, but it does it properly without making it look all pixelated. AI smart mask has to be one that I've used a couple times just for fun edits that I never included in a vlog. You remember when I used to do things like I did the Harry Potter Wingardium Leviosa and I lifted up a lawnmower with a twig? I had to manually mask my lawnmower, cut it out, and then take a video feed of the lawnmower not in there, and then move it around and stuff using the mask. What the smart mask will do is you just literally move it from here to here, and the AI smart mask will fill in every frame after that. Really cool stuff. AI smoother, which is the opposite of the sharpening. There's AI style transfers, so you can just throw a bunch of different transfers onto styles, like there's a bunch of patterns and shit. And then there's an AI upscaler where you can actually upscale, like if you have for instance like a VHS video that's like 480p and you can get it on the computer and save it as 480p, you can upscale it to 1080 or 4K. AI will fill in the blanks. Will it look as good as a native 4K video? Probably not. Like even when you use DLSS or FSR to upscale a low resolution game to a high scale resolution game so you can put more impact on the video card and less on the processor and try and generate some more frames. It never looks as good as a native 4K resolution, but it'll get you there. So then there's the AI Z depth, which basically it's like if I had text, I could move the text in and out. I could put the text behind me and then have it come over and jump over my head, and I can have it do this, which is pretty neat. You can actually do some pretty cool edits with that. Another cool thing, like I forgot to mention about the AI smart masking, is you ever seen those videos where buddy's driving down the street and all of a sudden words are written on the road, but they're not there, and it's like, vlog 27, going to Sudbury, and it's like it's rolling through. Well, that's done through AI smart masking. Like you can do some pretty cool effects with that. You can also key lock things in the air. So like as you're moving the camera, I could have words behind me, but then when I come over here, they disappear. And then when I come back over here, they reappear. Really cool shit you can do with AI in this. And I just don't utilize any of it, because I find when I decide to add some funny shit to the video, like I tried to add music once and people got pissed off saying, get rid of the fucking music. So I did. I'm like, whatever. I tried to do some other edits and people were like, that's dumb, don't do that. So I just stopped. So now I just keep it basic bottom bitch. It takes less work for me to do and edit, and people don't complain. So it's like a win-win situation if you look at it the way I do, or if you don't, I don't care. But I did say before that Magix stripped AMD. It turns out they didn't. If anything, they kept focus on AMD. They just added NVENC encoding so that they could have, well, let's face it, Magix knew the majority of people who do video game streams are editing with Vegas. Some are using Premiere, some are using DaVinci Resolve, but the majority users editing games are using Vegas, because it's the cheapest solution for a non-linear editing program. If you ever see the term NLE, non-linear editing. So basically it just means you can cut up videos and put them in any damn order you want. It's not like, you know, the old Windows Movie Maker where you drop clips in and it was all linear and you couldn't move clips around. It was what you got is what you got. You could make it a non-linear through a lot of cuts and nonsense, but it was a real brutal thing and it was really unstable. So Magix is Vegas is one of the ones that people use a lot of, and Magix knew this, and they also knew, judging by like Steam, for instance, the Steam hardware survey, that 90% of gamers are running NVIDIA hardware and only 10% are using AMD. And now it's like there's kind of a kerfuffle in there. Like there's a little bit more AMD usage, but there's also Intel Arc cards in there now, like the Arc Alchemist and the Arc Battle Mage that are showing up. So they realized we need to make sure we cover all these video cards so that when people buy our product, they're not left with an upsetting situation where it renders like a pile of junk. That's something Sony didn't care about. Sony was like, if you have an AMD, cool. If you don't, software encoding for you, deal with it. And they charged a lot more than Magix did. I remember Sony, when I bought Sony Vegas 15, it was like $400, $399.99. When I bought Sony Magix Vegas 20 after it switched over, or Magix Vegas 15, sorry, it was, I think it was $199. It was like $200 cheaper, and I'm like, holy shit. What was with the price cut? It's because that's how Magix is. Like even Magix Movie Edit Pro, when I first started video editing, Magix Movie Edit Pro was my first non-linear editing program that I learned a bunch of stuff like jump cutting and a few video effects like using crossfades and making a clone of yourself, which I had issues with the lighting. One day I'll figure that out, but not today because I don't feel like it. Anyway, that program was only $60, and I bought the first version I bought. I can't remember what version it was. Movie Edit Pro 15 or something like that. I can't remember. I remember I did a bunch of tutorials for it. Magix reached out to me and said, hey man, your tutorials are getting a lot of hits. Do you want to try the new version and make some tutorials for that? Well, the problem is the new version was a lot like the old version, except for it was prettier, it rendered faster, had a couple of extra features. So I was like, yeah, man, sure. So they gave me a lifetime license to Movie Edit Pro. So as it got better, I just got free copies of the new version, no questions asked. So that was pretty sweet, but they don't make Movie Edit Pro anymore. Now they make, now they focus mainly, I don't think they make it. Maybe they do, 1 second. No, they don't. They don't. They make, now it's called Magic's Movie Studio 2025, which looks a lot like Magic's Movie Edit Pro, and Vegas had a baby, and the baby came out like this thing. But it's got AI built into it. It's got a storyboard. It's a non-linear editing program, just like Edit Pro was. It actually looks pretty good. How much is it for a not for like, can you just buy it and own it? Like, do you have to? Oh, so you can get a free trial, 1 month plan. It's $5 a month if you want to, you know, rent it. Perpetual license is a perpetual license means you buy it once and then you own that version forever. It's $49.99 Canadian, so like probably $10 American. Perpetual license to upgrade it is $30, so it's cheaper to upgrade it than anything, and it's not a bad looking graphical user interface. It actually looks pretty intuitive. Like, there's not much to it, and it does support some AI shit. Like, this guy looks pretty freaking happy using it. So it has a lot of the similar AIs from Vegas. Like, it's got AI generated audio commentary. I'm trying to see. So it's got the AI smooth, the AI sharpening, the AI fog removal, which we talked about that. It's got one-click audio commentary subtitles, which we have with Vegas. AI style transfer, we have that with Vegas. AI colorization, we have that with Vegas. So it's got all the same AI shit as Vegas, plus it's got the Magic's chroma key, the Boris effects, chroma key studio. What the frig just happened on my other screen? That's cool. Simplified recording functions. So if you want to use it as your recorder for video game shit, it has it. So if you don't want to use OBS, I'd rather use OBS, you get more features. But, and it's got different variants. Like, there's the Platinum Studio and Platinum Suite and Ultimate. And depending on what you get, it ranges from $49 to $59 to $109 to purchase. And that's not too bad for this video editor. It's probably pretty good. I might actually consider picking it up and trying it because it might be ballin'. It might be something I can recommend to you guys if you want to get into video editing and don't want to break the bank. $50 Canadian is not that bad of a deal for a non-linear editing program with all these tools. That's pretty dang good. I've been sitting here and talking and all this shite, and I'm pretty sure my freaking steak is ready. But yeah, guys, as I talked this morning about jury duty, I signed up for it. And then as I'm signing up for it, my coworker's sitting there and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I gotta freaking fill out a form. Apparently I've been selected for jury duty." And he's like, "Oh, dude, it sucks." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "It sucks." He's like, "I got summons for jury duty." He goes, "So you gotta take time off of work. You don't get paid." He goes, "They pay you, but it's like $50 a day." And I'm like, "Ouch, that hurts." So that's like a lot less a day than I make working. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll do what my team lead said and save some vacation time for an emergency jury call. And if they're like, "Yeah, you got to come to jury on Monday to Friday," I'll be like, "Hey, I need to take vacation time so I can go sit in court and listen to how some guy shanked a dude and they can't convict him." Because apparently my coworker got called into jury duty and they had so much evidence on the guy causing the murder, except for the cops couldn't find the murder weapon. And lo and behold, buddy got off. Like, because they couldn't find the murder weapon. They had like video surveillance of the guy on the property, video surveillance of the guy in the house. They saw the woman was stabbed to death. They had video surveillance of the time of him leaving. The morgue confirmed roughly the time of the death, and it matched up with the video footage. But because they couldn't find the weapon that caused the pokey poke, buddy got off scot-free. Welcome to Canada, people, where our friggin' justice system is so cocked, it's unbelievable. One little complication of can't find a knife or whatever the hell the guy used, and you're out. So that's fun. I would have been like, if I was in jury, I'd be like, "Nah, he's freaking guilty. Nah, just put him in jail. Put him in jail. Put him behind the bar. Put him behind the bar," you know? But that's not how it works. It's so dumb. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go eat my steak, and I'm probably gonna watch some Twitch TV and just chill out. and do nothing for the rest of the night. So, you know, I'm probably going to go to bed. Right now my laundry's gone because I got to have some clean laundry for tomorrow, because that's why I'm wearing this friggin' Temu special red shirt, because all my shit's filthy and I need to wash it up so I can wear it again. But anyway, guys, I'm going to shut her down. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, click that like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go. And until next time, guys, live it to win it and peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.